Shalom. First, I'd like to start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Shadash. Double honor to teachers that listen to us of great millstone, likewise, brothers would know the truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep and deep brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson is titled, No Thanks. We Won't Need You, Esau. Now you can see the way things are going, that we are coming up to that time where this devil, Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, is going to collapse everything that the people on this earth have come to enjoy, in particular right here in Great Babylon, America. And it's going to become a challenge for everybody. And then he wants to come and present himself as a savior. You know, heal the body, feed you, give you comfort, okay, substance, a peace of mind with his currency or his global welfare, you know, in the form of that MOTB, which is the mark of the beast. But the lack of Yasharala, Israel, or so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos, whose seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we won't need you, okay? And we've seen this devil throughout the scriptures have utilized his position on this earth that the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah has given him to even attempt our Savior, the Mashiach. So how much more us? Let's go into the book of Matthew 10 and start verse 18, and it reads, And ye should be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. We know, to bringing out these gospel, going on the highway in the Bible and speaking against this devil, that we're going to be facing him in his court system. And we know his court system, okay, is not a righteous system. It has demonstrated that it is unfair to the poor, which is us. Okay, when you go into the book of Zechariah 11 and 5, it says, Who possessors slay them and hold himself not guilty, and they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So he saw, you know, through, you know, his sorceries and, you know, his ability to get to certain, you know, hierarchy of jakes in the society, has been able to use them to manipulate our people into following his ways. And then, you know, when he have set up those snares for our people to fall into them, you know, he, you know, uses sword against us, uses his system against us. And because he has set up our shepherds, okay, you know, when I say our shepherds, I'm talking about the shepherds that have that mindset of the world to mislead us. He looks and he points his finger and says, see, they don't care. As long as they get their own, they will leave the sheep astray. Okay, so we can do what we want to do, and that's been proven throughout history. Okay, when you go into the book of John 19 and start verse 10, okay, you can see here when the Mashiach was on trial. Okay, and we're still talking about, you know, when you speak against the so-called white man, you know, okay, the powers to be, how they quickly want to silence you. Okay, and this is what Pilate says to Mashiach. Then said Pilate unto him, Speakest thou not unto me? Knowest thou not that I have a power to crucify thee and have power to release thee? So see, this is the proud, you know, spirit of the so-called white man. Okay, but here's what the Mashiach said. He says, Yahushua answered, Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it was given thee from above. Therefore he that delivered me unto thee had the greatest sin. So the Mashiach let him know, like, look, you are not in charge. You're not in charge at all. Which is exactly what we're letting Esau know in this time. Okay, we're not going to worry like the rest of these people about food, you know, or the persecution from you, you know, or your medicine, you know, which is, you know, you've already seen how we stood against you against the C-19, okay, and against everything that you've come up with. We still speaking boldly against you. When we go into the book of Revelation 2 and 10, it reads, Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, which is Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So imagine that, you know, you live this life of poverty, ridicule, and especially if you're a so-called Negro, we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom, even though we walk with our heads up and we speak against this man, okay, of his wickedness. Okay, we understand that we've been in a low level position. Okay, much in how the Mashiach, when he came down in the flesh in a low level position, but he's going to return, in his glory. All right. So we have to stay faithful no matter what we face here on this earth. And so we're mentally prepared for that. Okay, when we go into the book of Isaiah 45 and verse 7, we understand who's in charge of everything. And this is key. This is key, Jake. You have to understand. Okay, if our power creates everything, if he's in charge of everything, if he gave the wicked the power, then the only power that we need to fear is Yahweh Shem Yahushua says, I form the light and create darkness, I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, do all these things. So who created the evil? The Lord did. Who created the good? He did. Who created darkness and light? He did. So he's the only one that we should actually have fear of. Okay? Okay, and you can say, well, that's easy to say, you're in the flesh, you get pain and this man can throw you in prison, he can hang you and cut your head off. Yeah, but who gave him the authority to do that? Keep in mind, what did the Mashiach say? If you stay faithful until death, you'll get a crown of life. Okay, Esau's future, okay, is going to be death. Let's go into the book of Proverbs 20 and 24. Because you can see here that each and every person on this earth, including us, our ways is not our ways. Okay, it says man's going after the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua. How can a man then understand his own way? Okay, when you're tired or you don't want to do something, or you do wickedness, or you do whatever, guess who's controlling you? The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, so who's putting the spirit in the man of the Lord to go out in the highway and byway to preach and to speak and to do these lessons? The Lord did. He woke us up at a certain time in our life to go do this work. We were always destined to go do this work. Some of us are going to do it all the way to the end. Some of us are going to be cut off at some point in time, and that's one of the greatest fear, or if not the greatest fear that each one of us have, is that the spirit of the Lord will be taken off of us, and we go back into the world being just niggers, man. And who the hell wants to be a nigger? Okay, let's go into the book of Job 14, and starting with verse 6, because you can see what Esau's job really is. Okay, he has a job, so here's the task that Esau's been given. It says, turn from him that he may rest till he shall accomplish as a hireling his day. For there's hope of a tree, if it be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that the tender branches thereof will not cease. So this is why you hear them talking about make America great again. Because see, the elites, they know the scriptures. They understand that they had a certain time to be in power and rulership to do what they're doing on this earth. They've been given technology, they've been given godlike status on this earth. Okay, but they know right now it's coming to the end. Okay, everything around them is collapsing. They're losing their ability to really think and coexist with each other to keep the children of Israel down, and so they're falling apart and they're turning on each other. And this is the reason why you see them coming up with these speeches like make America great again, or peace on earth, and all this other different things like that. But it's not gonna work. Because why? The goings of man, okay, including empires, is that of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, let's go into the book of Matthew 6, okay, and 24. Because keep in mind, again, this man is going to present, okay, when all hell breaks loose on this earth, and death toll on a level you can't even begin to comprehend, and people are just like, wow. Okay, you think you're having it bad right now? Wait till there's no running water, no air condition, disease is rampant, crime and is on a level that you can't even begin to even comprehend. No electricity. I mean, your hard life is today, it would seem like it was paradise compared to what's about to come. Okay, but the key things that we always have to remember is this: no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will hold on to the one and despise the other. Which is why you see Jakes them who love Esau, they go through a great extent to go make videos against this ministry. In fact, we already found out that actually a lot of them actually are being paid to do it. Okay, so that they can sow doubt into the minds of our people. See, our people, it's very easy to be simple in this world. You get a little bit of crumbs, you get a little roof over your head, a little bit of food to eat, and you can just be comfortable because our people don't have that king mentality. They don't have that Yasharala mentality. They don't have that, the men, they don't have that God mentality because they don't know who they are. It says you cannot serve power and mammon. So you can't, have one foot in the world, the other foot, I think I know who I am. No, you have to choose a side. And, for the men of the Lord, we have chosen our side already, and Esau knows who we are. Okay, this is John 14, inside verse 12. It says, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father." So, we all have like sick bodies and injured, and you have all kinds of issues. Okay, all kinds of issues, and you're gonna wonder, how am I gonna get medicine? But do you really want to put that toxin that Esau has out there right now that they call medicine? Come on, man. This man went on a global mission a couple years ago to try to wipe out people. Okay, with during that C-19. Okay, pretending that there was such a epidemic on this earth, and for us, how many billions to get injected? Come on, you really want to depend on that? We're going to be able to lay hands on our people and heal our people, okay, in that time. The same way how the Lord is going to provide food and also that protection. So if the Mashiach, when he was on earth, he was known to heal people, and he's saying basically, I'm going to give you that power to be able to heal. Okay, you're going to be able to heal. So we're going to be self-reliant, okay, or basically on the ability that the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is going to give us. In reality, we're relying on the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. Okay, this is the book of Jeremiah 50 and verse 24, because we have, a peace of mind that everything that Esau is trying to do against us, okay, and he's trying to persuade the world around us that he's the answer. He's the one that can cure you. He's the one that can feed you. Okay? Even though he's the one that's creating the diseases and the problems and everything. Okay? I remember he's given the authority to do these things. Okay, we understand, like, dude, you're not the alpha, okay? You're not really the guy that we looking up to. You're not the alpha, dude. Okay, it says, "I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh Shemashah." You really believe that you can murder us, shame us, afflict us, and then just get away with it? You're not going to get away with it, okay? Okay? Because we understand who you are, okay? Going to Job 9 and 24, it says, "The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not, where and who is he?" So you had to lie. Through your renaissance, you change the images of who the power is, who the Mashiach is, and who the prophets are, and who the true chosen people of the Lord Yahweh Shemashah is, and you change it into this pasty, wicked abomination called Caucasians. Okay? But we've exposed who you are, and the world is now starting to wake up to who you people really are. It's being played out, and you don't like it. So now you're about to get real dirty, and in your effort to try to silence us, you're going to silence everybody else, okay? And everybody else is going to suffer in Jacob's trouble, okay? Jacob's trouble is not only going to be the trouble of the children of Israel, okay, so-called blacks and Americans and Latinos. It's also going to be trouble for these other tribes here too, okay? Because what they don't understand about Esau is that Esau doesn't care. They're wicked, okay? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, but like we said, he's a hireling, meaning that he has a purpose to do and execute what the Lord Yahweh Shemashah has created him for. And why? Because at the conclusion of all of it, okay, this is Job 21 and 30, it says that the wicked, okay, let's go to verse 29. It says, "Have ye not asked them that go by the way, and do ye not know their tokens? that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. So we know you're being reserved for destruction. They should be brought forth to the day of wrath. So there's a wrath that's going to be taking place from the Lord Yahweh Shemashah. That Mashiach is going to return at some point in time, okay, and give you your judgment, okay? So you're not going to get away with this. We know that, and with that confidence, we can tell you, no thanks. We won't need you. We won't need you for food. We won't need you for shelter, okay? And as far as food goes, these preppers already, the Lord has already put the spirit in these preppers to prep up, okay, the food. And it's so much so that they even go on YouTube and brag about how much they're prepping. To Shai, and to all you preppers out there, thank you very much, okay? Make sure I have a bottle of port, okay, in those places that y'all are prepping up those food for. As far as medicine goes, we don't need your medicine. Your medicine's garbage. You're not a physician of value. We will have the ability to heal ourselves and to heal those that the Lord Yahweh Shemashah has chosen to bring through the great tribulation that is about to come upon the children of Israel. So there it is, okay? Lord will indeed let us certify that the close of it, all glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai Ba'ashem, Rakadash. Shalom.